So let's talk about baby mamas and baby daddies for a second. Now, there's a question that I want to ask, and then obviously I'm going to tell you my interpretation of the answer. Can baby mamas and baby daddies be friends? I don't really like to use that term because I feel like a baby daddy is somebody that does very minimal. He's kind of just around enough just so you can't say that he's never around. He gives you enough money just so he can't say, or you can't say that he's a deadbeat. So for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use, I guess, the term parents that are not together anymore. So can parents who are not in a relationship anymore be friends? The answer is yes. There was a time where I disliked my son's father. And when I say dislike, I mean dislike with a passion. I hated the air that he was breathing that was giving him life. But that was about 10 years ago now. So both of us have definitely evolved as people, and we have matured to the point that now I can honestly call him my friend. A friend is somebody that you can confide in, somebody that you can tell anything without fear of judgment, somebody that will be there for you regardless of your past, regardless of the things that you've done to them, whether intentional or unintentional, malicious, someone that can look past that and just love the person that you are. I am friends with my son's father. We talk pretty regularly. I tell him things that I don't think I've ever told anybody, and he doesn't judge me for it. And I was one spiteful person. When everything hit the fan and we broke up and I found out I was pregnant, I mean, you couldn't tell me he wanted the damn devil. But as I got older, as my son got older, our relationship changed. I know one day I woke up and was just like, I don't want to be that stereotypical baby mama and baby daddy where we can't have a civil conversation, where we're meeting in a McDonald's parking lot and it's like a handoff, like a drug exchange. I don't want to treat my kid that way. There's no reason why we can't work this out and figure it out. Um, Firstly, you have to acknowledge your faults. And that includes any wrongdoing you've done to each other. No excuses, no trying to misplace blame. Nobody is more guilty than the other person. That's the biggest thing. I know when my son's father and I finally decided to have that talk, I had to say a lot of things that I needed to get off my chest. And a lot of that had to do with how the relationship ended. But after some years and I healed and I moved on and I was able to actually have a civilized conversation with him, he apologized for some stuff. I'm not going to go into detail about that because I know he's watching. But he apologized, and I also apologized because there are things that I could have done differently. Step two, you have to realize that it's not about you two. It's about your child or your children. So whatever you can do to make their life easier to coexist with each other for the sake of your child. Step three, actually be genuinely interested in maintaining a friendship. Not just so you play nice so that she takes you off child support, or you play nice so that she lets you see your kid. That has nothing to do with it. Because any woman should allow their child's father to be in their life. regardless of what happened between them, regardless of the things that he chooses to do. Granted, if it's something that's dangerous and that could bring harm to your kid, by all means, obviously, you're not going to let him be around. Your baby daddy's a drug kingpin. I don't blame you for not letting him go to his house. Genuinely be interested in, being friends like you would anybody else that you're friends with. I know we talk pretty regularly, things that are going on with him, things that are going on with me. He gives me dating advice. I don't have to give him dating advice because he's who he is. So he has no problem in that area. But just little things like that. We had a conversation today, as a matter of fact, about some things that I wanted to do, and he helped me weigh the options and think about the long term and what my goals are and how he can help me get there. Contrary to popular belief, you do not have to be having a sexual relationship with your child's parent in order for you to be friends. Again, two completely different topics. Now, that's another thing. You cannot sleep together. Simple as that. You can't blur that line. It has to be strictly platonic. We're friends for the sake of our children, and just because, I like who my child's father is as a person. You'll never hear me say that twice. No, I genuinely like who he is as a person. After all the dust settled and, I realized, okay, hey, he alright. He ain't so bad. I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. He ain't that bad. But it's just something that both of you have to want, obviously, because friendships can't be one-sided. I know one thing that I have to work on, because I understand that he's busy, he got a whole bunch of other stuff to do, is I do get a little upset when he doesn't call me back right away. And that's for many different reasons. Obviously, sometimes I really don't have anything to say at all, but ain't the point. Other times it's like, okay, I need to talk to you about something. I need you to call me back, like ASAP. But like I said, everybody turns over a new leaf, and either you mature or you don't. But it is entirely possible for you to be friends with your child's parent. Entirely possible. So don't believe the hype. Don't get caught up in the stereotypes about, oh, that's your baby mama. You're supposed to hate her. Treat her like a dog. Don't pay child support because she's probably spending it on her hair and her nails and all that stuff anyway. Don't get caught up in that. And you can maintain a successful friendship with your child's parent. And I'll be honest, it's so much easier. So much easier than the constant bickering and being petty. I don't care for all that. I don't. Number one, because I trust him. I know that he's not going to have anybody around our child that would wish him harm or is a bad influence, and vice versa. That's one of those things that has to be established. It's a mutual respect and a mutual trust. After all, that is still his son. He's not going to let anything let any harm come to him, because number one, he has to deal with me. Number two, because he still has feelings and attachment to his child. Granted, he's on the road a lot, but that doesn't change the relationship that they have. And I do everything in my power to foster that. He calls him, even if I'm dead tired and I'm like, oh, wait, you haven't called your dad in a while. Call your dad. It's a simple reminder. He's the kid. He's not thinking about it, out of sight, out of mind. He knows he still has a dad, but because I'm here, he's not really thinking about it. So I'm like, hey, call your dad. And then I'll call him, and then he'll disappear on my phone, and then I got to chase him down. But at the end of the day, it's entirely possible to have that relationship with your child's parent. It takes work, and it takes a lot of communication. A lot. And neither one of those things can slip, because then you'll backtrack. So Thanks for watching, and again, make sure you subscribe.